What's up, folks? Welcome in. This is JE Live, and it is a Monday, so we are kicking off the brand new week with another JE Live. I lost track. I think this is 8 in a row. Not, you know, not bragging or anything. Just trying to keep the flow going. We got a lot going on today. At least I do. Doing this. I have Jet Lounge over on not Twitch, over on Twitter Spaces at 8:30, and then I have MCU Edge over on exclusively the Call-In app at 9:30, all Eastern time. So looking forward to all that. But welcome in. I understand you guys are probably school's I think out, so I don't know how many people would be in school right now, but I know people are probably getting out of work. If you want to throw this on, just play it through your car while you're in rush hour traffic. Appreciate that. If you can, you're somewhere possible to do it. Obviously, don't do it while you're driving, but if you can, hit the like button, the thumbs up button. It really does help out. What's up, Rams fan 08? Appreciate you joining. What's up, Matthew? Oh, you're catching me live for once. Yeah. Well, I know you're busy because you do the truck driving. I know that's a lot. I used to manage commercial truck tolls essentially, so I definitely know how that works. So I can only imagine. But appreciate you hopping on. What's up, Youngin? How we doing, Youngin Isaac? Let's see here. I'm just gonna drop this over on the Discord. Try to get some people in here. I understand we're a little early today, right? We had to be because I got so much planned for today. But we are a little early. It's okay. We're off and running and ready to answer questions on a Monday. Where did you rank Kyron among running backs coming out of the draft? This is a great question. I had him number 4. I think there are definitely a lot of running backs that you have to like coming out of this draft. And I'm going to bring up my board right now, actually. But I had him listed as the 4th running back. I loved his pass protection ability. I actually rated him the highest pass protection grade of anybody in the draft. Was really impressed with his ability to, protect the passer. But furthermore, I just think he's got really good contact balance. He's slippery in space. He's going to make a man miss. He's also his ability, because he's a former wide receiver in his own right, his ability to make plays, as a receiver is definitely something that interests me. So there was a lot to like out of Kyron coming out. And, that's what I'll say in regards to that. Just really, really enjoyed, watching the tape on him. I'm going to look up the draft. I'm trying to find it. I can never find it in my Google Drive anymore. Like, it's like you type in a regular keyword and it doesn't come up. Oh, there it is. Okay. I was in the wrong Google Drive. There we go. So, running backs, the way I had them ranked, I actually had Snoop Connor draftable in the 6th round. Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know I was that high on Snoop Connor pre-draft. I really like him post-draft. But Kenneth Walker was my number 1 running back in this draft. Mid to late 1st round grade on him. The only 1st round grade I had on a running back. Jerome Ford was 2nd. Felt like the Browns got an absolute steal out of Cincinnati. Then I had Pierce Strong at 3rd. Love what New England got in Pierce Strong. Don't really love the fit for Pierre Strong, especially because it seems like they want to make him the next James White. I think that's a total waste of his overall ability, but that's just me. Kyron Williams 4, Zamir White 5. The Raiders got a good one in Zamir White, and of course the Rams got a good one in Kyron. And I actually had day 1 starters. I had 3 day 1 starters. I had Walker, Ford, and Strong as day 1 starter grades. I had Kyron as 2nd-year starter, Zamir White as a 2nd-year starter, Keontae Ingram over with the Cardinals at a USC as a 2nd-year starter, Isaiah Spiller as a 2nd-year starter, Breece Hall coming in at 8th as a 2nd-year starter. I like him way more after the draft. I like the fit with the Jets. Rashad White as a 2nd-year starter, Devontae Price, who's now with the Colts, at FIU, 2nd-year starter. Ty Chandler, 2nd-year starter. Brian Robinson, 2nd year. And Tyler Algier, 2nd year. Jayshon Corbin was a 3rd year. Zaquandre White, 3rd year. Hassan Haskins, 3rd year. And I was really low on James Cook, but he went to the Bills. I think he's got a really, really good, fit there. He probably has the best fit of anybody there in this draft. So him going to the Bills was huge for him. For MCU Edge, are you going to talk about the John Krasinski role? I absolutely am. Kind of uncertain on that aspect. What's going to go on there. There's some rumors that he isn't going to be Mr. Fantastic, which is unfortunate. Man, I don't know why all of a sudden I got like something in my eye while I was talking. That's great when that happens. Love that. Anyway, so yeah, not sure what's gonna happen there, but those were my running backs. Grades. I had Snoop Connor at 22, as like a notable. Pacheco at 30, Beatty at 23. So, as you can tell, I wasn't huge on Dameon Pierce. I know a lot of people liked him. Will Terrell Burgess be a starting safety for us this season? If not, who will be the starters? I think it's going to be Nick Scott and Jordan Fuller, but I think they're going to try and get Terrell Burgess involved in the best of their ability. This is somebody that they drafted and they had a lot of, belief in coming out of Utah, third-round picks. So, I don't think he's going to start this year because of who's around him, but, next year, keep in mind, Taylor Rapp becomes a free agent and Nick Scott. They're going to have a tough decision to make with Nick Scott. I think they're probably going to let Taylor Rapp go. We'll see. And then I think he'll get an opportunity after that. Are you going to start a fantasy group in the Discord where people can join? Well, in our Discord, I think what I'll just do is, if I don't have a fantasy section already, I'll just make a fantasy football section. So, actually, we do have a fantasy football section in there. So, yeah, we actually do. If the Yankees lose tonight, I lose all my life savings. Oh boy, Ryan. Oh boy. If they lose tonight against the Athletics, I'm gonna have a bone to pick with the Bronx. Speaking of which, the MLB will not charge the Oakland A's for moving to Vegas because the league wants a team in Southern Nevada. So think about that. The Oakland A's could be the Vegas A's. How do you feel? Apparently that's just breaking news from the MLB. They will officially not charge any relocation fee whatsoever because they are pushing for the A's to and the MLB to be represented in Vegas. Very interesting. Can the Rams still use Travin Howard in packages? Like trade packages? Oh, you mean like packages? Yeah, absolutely. Travin Howard's skill set, you can use him all over the field. He's versatile. Yeah, you could absolutely use him. Oh, Alex. Let's get these out of the way. 1, you think OBJ is going to resign? Are we going to trade for Montez Sweater Quinn? Blessings on this fine 8th consecutive day of streaming, Father Jake. Oh, Lord, Father Jake did stick. Unfortunately, my eyes are like burning. I don't know why. That's not good. Jeez. Love it when you're live and all of a sudden your eyes start burning like crazy. It's not the glasses, man. Like, I got new glasses. Like, what's up? If Oakland A did move to Vegas, they should change the name. You don't like the Vegas Athletics? I think that actually kind of sounds cool. How much will Odell help the Rams, or will he not even help at all? I mean, of course he'll help. It would be a postseason thing. He'd be joining them late in the season, on the road to, doing that. God, this is irritating. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Something in the water, I guess. As I go and about to have a drink of water. That's what we do. All right. Let's see here. Who is your dark horse in the NFL that could win it all? This is a good one. Screw it. I'm going to say, well, I don't know how they became a dark horse, but I mean, I could go with the Ravens, honestly. I mean, the Ravens are healthy again, I think a big issue last year was that they weren't healthy. They killed it in the draft, per usual. The Ravens always kill it in the draft. I could see the Ravens. I think the way we used Tutu in preseason was how we will use him now. Tons of jet sweeps, tons of flank screens with Woods gone especially. Could see that for sure. I think they'll use him in multiple ways. Appreciate that. I love him too. It's completely changed my look. I went back and, it's funny. I wanted to post a JE Live clip, and it was from one of my older videos that I forgot, the Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. So while it was good content, I don't want to see myself without these glasses on again. So, weird. Dude, I do not know what's going on with my eyes. I apologize. It is bad. Or this one eye, anyway. It's like, jeez. It's like something flew in it, and now it's just like messed up. Anyway. Was the Kyron Williams pick kind of a waste? I feel like he doesn't fill any unique role, more so depth for our receiving backs. Would have preferred a guy like Brian Robinson Jr. Thoughts? I definitely don't think he's a waste. Going up and getting him in the 5th round was a steal. This is somebody that I think before the season you're looking at as a first, second round talent. And I think he offers more in pass pro than Cam Akers, as much in pass pro as Darrell Henderson. Henderson's a free agent after the year, so if they don't bring him back, he'll just slide right in there as the Henderson role. I actually don't think it was a waste at all. I think he was perfect for what the Rams look for. Hey, Father Jake, I don't think I've asked before, but I've been really wanting to tell you this. Have you watched season 5 of the hit Netflix series Stranger Things? Bro, are there even 5 seasons? Like, is that even a thing? Or are you just making this up at this point? God. You guys kill me. Almost as much as this, like, eye thing that's going on. Someone's going to meme the hell out of this, but... Like me after I read a bad take online or something, just like, did I see that right? If there was NBA team in Vegas, I'll name them the Las Vegas Outlaws. That's interesting. I could see that. Oakland really does deserve to lose both teams, honestly. That stadium is an absolute dump, and they just think the owners need to pony up the bill for these multi-billion-dollar stadiums, LOL. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, the Coliseum is a joke. It's a disgrace to baseball and football, so congrats. You have a multi-purpose stadium that doesn't serve either purpose. Just remember that. Dear God, man. I would just love how, like, to know why all of a sudden this just flared up. It hasn't been like this all day. I go live and now all of a sudden it's like, what the hell? Brutal. What's new, Jake? Well, I'm dying over here. My eyes are blowing up. Maybe I'm allergic to something. Probably allergic to something. I don't know. I can't believe people haven't left. They're like, dude, why are you watching this guy live? All he's doing is rubbing his eye. Like, sorry. The perfect Clear Eye commercial. Clear eyes. Yeah. Yep. Raiders could win it all. My dark horse for sure. I could see it. Put some ice on that eye. Ice always helps you out. I'm about to. Do you believe Bruss will start day 1? Yes, I do. I almost said Colts, by the way. Almost said Colts. No, I clicked the wrong thing. Almost said Colts. I was very close to saying it. I love what they did going out and getting Matt Ryan. You know, I think Alec Pierce is going to be huge. Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman. You got a myriad of tight ends that I really like. I mean, first off, I like Mo Alley Cox, the former basketball player from Baylor. You know, I also very much like, you know, Jelani Woods, the guy they got from Virginia. And I also very much like the SMU tight end from last year, Kylan Granson, who they drafted. So I really like what they've done. Matthew, thank you so much for donating. Really appreciate it. How of the Rams offense you think O'Connell may carry? How much of the Rams offense? Okay. Will Kevin O'Connell carry over to the Vikings? Cousins is a solid quarterback, so he should be able to run it. Yeah, and I've actually said this before, but you know, with Kirk Cousins, I think he's going, like, with Kevin O'Connell going there, he's basically just back in, like, the world of McVay. Like when he was in Washington and McVay was the OC. It's that offense. It's that type of offense. So I think he's going to have his best year since, you know, I think he might have his best year yet, honestly. The Vikings are a dark horse. I don't see them beating the Rams to win the Super Bowl, like to get there and win the Super Bowl, but I could definitely see them winning the division. I kind of feel like they're going to win the division. Yeah, they did. My dad talks about that a lot, actually. Yeah, my eye's super red. I don't know what's going on, but I appreciate that, Ricky. Jake, do you think Kyrie Irving is going to stay with the Nets? No, it doesn't look like he or Kevin Durant are going to stay with the Nets. I'm not going to lie. This eye thing is brutal. Like, my God. I'm sorry. Man. But the show must go on. Doesn't matter if I can't even see. I'll make it work. Why would I need to see anyway? I'm just looking at you guys. I can't actually see any of you. I'm just looking into a camera. Who needs sight? Is Bobby Wagner an upgrade to Von Miller for our defense this season? Hard to say. They play two different positions. I think they're very equal in that aspect. I think the Rams' need for a true linebacker, I've always been that believer. I think it almost makes more sense to have Bobby Wagner over Vaughn, but that's just me. So, sources are saying on ESPN, Los Angeles Lakers' only team known to be seeking Brooklyn Nets guard Kyrie Irving in a sign-and-trade deal. Sounds like Brooklyn is delusional, and they're not going to try and accept any of these trades from the Lakers. They really are not interested. Kyrie is not coming back from how it sounds. Neither is Kevin Durant. So there's a good chance that Kyrie Irving, and this is the thought process, is that he has great interest in joining the Lakers, source said, which he could do by declining the $36.5 million option and signing with the LA Lakers for the $6 million taxpayer mid-level exception. You have to understand that. If he does that, all the hate that I have for, and I don't hate the guy personally, I just hate him, sports hate, right? I don't like the guy. But if he does that, I'd like him. Even if it was like, and I love Westbrook, he's like my favorite player. Even if it meant Westbrook was gone, if I saw Kyrie Irving turn down $30 million to be a Laker, I'm sorry, that's how you win me. You'd win me over. Call me a sellout, but he's giving up $30 million to play with the Lakers. I'd have to like him at that point. I used to like him. I literally have his Cavs jersey somewhere. I was a big fan of his. I just didn't like the way he left Cleveland. Just like I didn't like the way LeBron left Cleveland. But the problem is I don't feel like Kyrie ever got redemption for that. Like, this would be redeeming himself to me anyway. But who am I? You know, I'm just a sports fan. You're welcome, Ronnie. Rank these 5 receivers from worst to first. Michael Pittman Jr., Deontay Johnson, Brandon Ayuk, DJ Moore, Mike Williams. Ooh, this is a good one. So the worst one in that group, I'm probably going to go with Brandon Ayuk. Guy can't stay healthy. I haven't been overly impressed with him. He took a nosedive last year. Wasn't anywhere near as good as what I thought he'd be. He'd be the worst. Second worst would be Michael Pittman Jr. Then we get into the, so we got those out of the way, right? You have 3 other receivers. Now, I would argue that the best receiver out of those 3 is Deontay Johnson. Like, Deontay Johnson doesn't have the statistical output that DJ Moore has. But if you put Deontay Johnson in the same offense as DJ Moore, I think you'd still see the same results. So, I'm going to say Mike Williams is third here, but I really like Mike Williams. I just have issues with his health. Then I would say DJ Moore, then I'd say Deontay Johnson. I think Deontay Johnson, if he goes to the Packers after this contract, if he doesn't stay with the Steelers, even if he stays with the Steelers, I think he'll be fine. But if you were to go to the Packers, the Chiefs or something, he'd blow up. People would start talking about him on the top tier. So the Fighting Yank, J.E. God damn. It's bad. I appreciate it. I know I joke, but I do appreciate it, So. Oh, man. A lot of money, yeah. LA Lakers don't need another drama queen on the team. I hear you. I think I already answered that. I just never highlighted the question, but yeah, I just didn't like the way he left Cleveland, and I don't like a lot of the. I don't like how he sat out like the whole year too. I don't know. And I also don't like that he pushed out Kenny Atkinson. The Nets, I mean, I'm not going to say the full quote from Joker, but it was so perfect. When he's like, you get what you effing deserve. You know? That's how I feel about the Nets. Because the Nets had built a good roster. They had built a good foundation. They got a good coach in Kenny Atkinson who was developing these talents. All of a sudden, we're talking about Spencer Dinwiddie as a really good player. All of a sudden, Karis LeVert is starting to hit his potential, his ceiling, right? You have all these guys. Jarrett Allen. Like, Jarrett Allen is an old school center that doesn't work in today's game, and all of a sudden he's making him work in today's game. And now you're like, okay, the Nets are building something here. They got some good stuff, you know? And then, this is all while Kyrie Irving, by the way, is out on some injury. I don't know. And then he comes back, and after everything Atkinson did with that team, he basically tells the front office to push out Atkinson, to go out and get KD, and that's what happens. So, in the words of Joker, in the movie Joker, you get what you effing deserve. Because the Nets had something, they were building something the old school way, the most respectable way, and then they mailed it in. They trade Karis LeVert over, I think it was, he ended up with the Pacers or something. They trade Jarrett Allen to the Cavs, which he ends up becoming an all-star. Shocker. And they move on from Spencer Dinwiddie. But hey, at least they got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, and they go out and they get Blake Griffin, and they get Andre Drummond, and all, like, great. Where are you now? Like, in the words of Royal Blood, where are you now? Because I don't know what direction that organization's going in, but it's not good. Kevin Durant's going to get traded. Kyrie Irving is gone. You're left with Ben Simmons. Congrats, you got Ben Simmons, who is literally the biggest coward in the NBA. It's not even up for debate. Ben Simmons is the most spineless NBA player I've ever seen. I'm sorry. So, you get what you effing deserve. Brooklyn. I'm sorry to the fans. Because I know a lot of the fans liked what Atkinson was doing. They liked building a team. They were very wary about going out and getting KD and making this a superstar, built team. Sure enough, those fans were right. They're not doing anything with that team. Ben Simmons will be there for the next however many years. He'll be the face of that team. They'll maybe make the playoffs because they're in the East, but yeah. Really sad. Really sad. But that was, again, going back to it, that's why I didn't like Kyrie on top of the Cleveland thing. I didn't like how he shoved out Kenny Atkinson, who was, in my opinion, one of the more rare coaches in the NBA because of the fact he actually wanted to develop. He wanted to develop players. This league does not develop players. I mean, they do every now and then. Like, you look at, like Golden State stuck with Andrew Wiggins. If they listen to half the NBA Twitter, Andrew Wiggins would be in Houston or somewhere, and Golden State would have traded for someone else, and they wouldn't have won the finals. They don't win that finals without Andrew Wiggins. I mean, Golden State developed Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. Think about it. There are teams that develop, but we're talking about, I just mentioned the same team multiple times. The Lakers, they were developing talents with Julius Randle and Jordan Clarkson, but they decided, you know what, no. We're going to just go the superstar route. The Celtics, they drafted Jason Tatum. They drafted Jaylen Brown. They drafted Robert Williams. They drafted Grant Williams. They drafted Marcus Smart. The Celtics are developing talent. Yeah, they go out and they get Derek White. Sue them, right? Oh, they got Al Horford, who's 35 years old. Look at them, just going after all the stars. But there are teams that do actually try to develop talent, and then there are teams that just give up and they want to get all the stars. And that is why guys like Kenny Atkinson should be respected more. Guys that try to actually develop talent in the NBA should be respected more, period. So that's my thoughts on that. I feel bad for Nets fans who truly didn't want all the star power, who got hated on for wanting to build a true winner and, a sustainable franchise and develop talent. But I don't feel bad for the fans that wanted Katie and Kyrie and just wanted to blow up the team. They had a good thing going. Now it's gone. Good luck, Nets. You might be relevant in 10 years. Okay. Hey, Jake, have you heard the new rumors going around about the suggestions McVay should go get Baker to back up? What do you think? Oh, boy. Okay. So here's the thing. John Wolford knows the offense. John Wolford runs the offense the way the Rams want him to as the backup. Bryce Perkins is there. They don't have money to pay Baker, okay? If they were to get Baker, then you could say goodbye to Odell because that wouldn't work out. Those two did not see eye to eye. Baker's limited. And on top of that, it's just one of those things where, like, the Rams had every opportunity to get backup quarterbacks in the past. Hell, they had opportunity to get backup quarterbacks that knew the offense. I just don't think it makes any sense to go and get Baker. So I'm going to pass on that. I don't know if that was a suggestion. I hope there's no, legs to that, but, Kyrie Irving is worth $6 million. I do agree with that. Yeah, the Rams would be making a mistake to go out and get Baker. I think if you're looking for the big play, if you're looking for a guy that can go up and get it, I'm going to go with Holt. But if you're looking for everything else, I think Isaac Bruce is the better receiver. Isaac Bruce, the better route runner. Isaac Bruce had to do more with less around him. Isaac Bruce had his best season without Holt, without Warner, without Pace, I think Pace might have been there, but without Falk, you had Mark Rypien and Chris Miller. And he had, 1781? So 1,781 yards? Yeah. Dude was insane. Do you think DK would be on the move this year? If so, where do you see him going? Yeah, so I definitely think DK could be traded. Now, where do I see him going? I mean, there's multiple options here because, in the NFL, there's going to be a lot of teams lining up. DK Metcalf is a talent. I would say the Colts should be interested. Going out and getting him, Alec Pierce, and having Michael Pittman, I think makes a lot of sense. But it's a matter of who can really afford it. So I'm going to look at total cap space right now because, they're going to have to pay him. I mean, there's no team that is going to go out of their way, trade for this guy, and not be able to pay him because he's not a rental. You're not getting DK Metcalf to rent him. So the names that come to mind, the Cleveland Browns, they got $41 million in cap space right now. Okay, so that's the thing. They got $41 million, based on the top figures. Carolina at $24 million, Dallas at 21, Pittsburgh at 20. Pittsburgh doesn't make any sense. They have receivers. They drafted 2. The Raiders are intriguing, but yeah, I would probably look at one of those. Chicago should probably be interested, but I don't know if they're actually trying to compete for anything. Green Bay could afford it. There are a lot of teams that could afford it. Washington could afford it. So a lot of teams out there. I would probably say the best fit for him would probably be in Cleveland, but, that's just my opinion. Oh, Sue? Yeah, I mean, the Chargers are getting everyone, so it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with that. Swing tackle, I mean, it's probably going to be, well, I think easily it would be Alaric Jackson. That's what I think. A lot's taken it, it's taken a lot is going on. So, I mean, you think about it, That was weird. You think about it, and it's like, well, OBJ needs to get paid, right? So he needs to get paid. He's coming off his second career torn ACL. You have the Rams who, you know, they can't just pay him anything because, you know, they're trying to figure out their team, and so they won't have him until November-ish. It really complicates things. This, I don't think, and I've said it over and over again, I don't think this deal is going to be done anytime soon. I think it'll be done not anytime soon, though. What up, Paul? Love your content. Keep it up, bro. Thank you so much. Would the weakest position on the Rams be the running back or punter position? Wow. I think we've literally gotten to the point where the Rams only have a true weakness at punter. Because Riley Dixon, I don't know about. Like, I mean, he might be good, but yeah, I don't know. The running backs are not a weak position, though. They got a good running back room. So what plays the 3-tech most of the time, and the Rams like pass rushers that play the 2-tech, right? Well, Sweat can kind of do it all. You know, he's asked to do a little bit more in college, so I wouldn't worry too much about the technique. I'm sure he could definitely do it. Well, you would want him as a stand-up pass rusher, essentially, though. You know, you wouldn't want him, you know, on the line, essentially. As a Clemson fan, I would like to see Tremaine get some play time. Yeah, I would too if he, you know, if they deem him fit. He's a friend of the show. He came on during the whole process, so. Well, that too. They got to make sure he's good to go. Because, again, and I've said this before, if he has one instance for OBJ where he has a setback. Now it's just like, sorry, he's not going to be ready this whole season. So now you're paying him for a season, he's out for, you know, it's like, got to be careful with that. I mean, I think Sue wants him more than the Rams, if I'm being honest, but I won't rule anything out when it comes to the Rams. I just don't see how they would pay for him, but that's just me. That team would have been dangerous if they didn't trade for Harden. Preach it, brother. You know it. ESPN 30 for 30 on the absolutely catastrophic implosion of the 2021-2022 Brooklyn Nets. Yes. We're going to get to that level. Do you think Hayden from the Steelers would be a good fit to fill in for Vaughn? Fill in for Vaughn. Joe Hayden, you mean? Because Joe Hayden plays corner, so he wouldn't. Vaughn is an outside linebacker, so I don't see how he would fit. I don't like. I've seen a lot of people saying we need another corner, like Rams need to get another corner, yada yada yada. They're very, very, very stacked at corner. They feel very good about corner. Like, I think at this point they might have too many guys, and David Long could be a surprise cut. Like, that's how deep they are. They don't need anybody. I heard him say that, but heard he and Stafford didn't care for each other. They don't. They do. It's true. I want a Jake Ellenbogen gift. Can you explain to me what that is, handsome Eric? I don't know what a Jake Ellenbogen gift is. Which teams develop most players well in the NFL? This is an interesting one. Let's go through it. I have a list of teams in front of me. Let's see. I mean, we'll go in terms of awesome. So Arizona Cardinals, do they no. Atlanta Falcons, no. Baltimore Ravens, absolutely. Bills, yeah, I'll give the Bills. I'll say Ravens, Bills. Panthers, no. Bears, no. Bears defensively, yes, actually. Cincinnati, yes. Cleveland, yes. Dallas to a degree. Denver, yes, defensively. Detroit, too early to tell. Green Bay, yes and no, I would say. Houston Texans, no. Indianapolis Colts, yes. Jaguars, no. Kansas City Chiefs, I'd say the Chiefs. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they develop talent. I would say they develop pretty well. Let's see. Raiders to a degree. Chargers, a little early, but somewhat. Rams, yes. Dolphins, no. Vikings, now that Mike Zimmer's gone, they will. Patriots, yeah, they develop talent, obviously. Saints do. The Giants, they could be better. The Jets, defensively, the Jets develop talent. Big time. Philadelphia. Defensively and offensive line and just the defense, I think, yes. Okay, Philly does. We'll just say that. Pittsburgh does. San Francisco, definitely. Seattle could be better. Tampa, yeah, I mean, they do somewhat, I would say. Tennessee, a little bit. You know, you got your Byard, you got your Lawan, or not Conklin. Yeah, Conklin. I mean, he's not there anymore, but Washington, I guess the defensive line, but I don't love Washington's player development, so I hope that kind of answered that question. I wasn't sure really how to answer it. Teams that come off that, you know, as soon as you say developing players, I think of the Patriots, the Rams, the Ravens, and the Colts. I mean, I don't know why. That's just those are the teams I think of. I agree with you about us not going to get Baker. Just wondering what you thought about it. Yeah, I like DK in Pittsburgh. Yeah, but Pittsburgh has, you know, keep in mind, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, George Pickens, and Calvin Austin. I just don't know if that's the smart thing to push Calvin Austin to wide receiver 5. They could. KC could absolutely be sneaky. Worried? No, but I do think that they'll be better with Trey Lance as soon as he gets acclimated. What up, Jake? If we aren't the number one offense in the league, who will be? Good question. So if the Rams are not the number one offense in the NFL, who will be? Maybe Buffalo. I would say Buffalo, the Ravens, the Chargers, the Chiefs are all in that conversation. But that's what I'll say in regards to that. Maybe Tampa. Probably down the road. Okay, what was I going to say? Or what was I going to read? Probably down the road, Lance would have to get used to the rivalry and just getting to know his team, honestly. That's true. Does Kyler take a step forward, or does he regress without D-Hop? I think he'll be fine. I don't think he's taking a step forward. I think he'll just be Kyler, you know. Why did Harden leave? Why are KD and Kyrie wanting to leave? The Nets aren't run well. They're just not. They drop everything that they're doing. They have a plan of attack. They drop it all at the drop of a hat. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets aren't run well. It's that simple. You know, they go out and they get like, is it really shocking? Like all of a sudden, you know, the Brooklyn Nets trade for Ben Simmons and now everybody wants out? Are people surprised by that? I mean, Ben Simmons is like a locker room cancer. Dude, like he absolutely quit on the Philadelphia 76ers. That team could have won it all if he actually got his act together. And then people are like, well, he's hurt. He's not passing his you know, whatever, conditioning training. It's like, dude, you know why he's not passing his conditioning training? Because he's sitting there on Twitch all the time, streaming during the season, not actually playing, not developing, not making his game any better, not working on his jump shot. I think he's hit 4 3-pointers in his entire career. He's missed way more. No. He's sitting on Twitch. That's why. He's not passing his conditioning because he doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care. I mean, for people that always side with athletes, and hey, I side with athletes a lot. I interview a lot of them, but Ben Simmons doesn't care. He's got no spine. He's got no backbone. Dude does not care. All he cares about is himself. That's essentially all he cares about. The 76ers could have won the title this year. Ben Simmons didn't care enough. On top of that, he made a little bitch fit about it and forced the 76ers to trade him. Which then, of course, they traded Drummond and they traded Seth Curry so they could get Harden, so it somewhat disrupted the flow of the team as well, you could argue. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Atkinson, see, this is the thing that isn't talked about enough, is that they got to the playoffs with Atkinson, all right? They fired Lionel Hollins in 25-16 season when they went 21-61, okay? And then they hire Atkinson, they go 20-62. So literally worse than the first year. But they're trying to build a team. And then the next year, a little bit of improvement with Atkinson, 28-54. They finished 12th. The next year, they're 42-40. And they actually make the playoffs and lose to the 76ers. And on this team, they had Jarrett Allen, Damari Carroll, Alan Crabb, Ed Davis, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jared Dudley, Kenneth Faried, Joe Harris, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, Karis LeVert, Shabazz Napier, Theo Pinson, D'Angelo Russell, and Alan Williams. And that team won 42 games. 42-40. Best team, no. But 3 years, you gave Kenny Atkinson 3 years, and he went from winning 20 games to winning 42 games. So that is called development. That's called, getting the most out of your team, building a team. All of a sudden, Dinwiddie is the second in scoring. I mean, I don't even think LeVert played that year. Oh, no, he did. LeVert was solid. He wasn't great. But Russell was really good, right? And then the next year, they go 35-37. And that's the year that they say, screw you, D'Angelo Russell. We're going to get Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving plays 20 games. 20 games. He averages 27 points, but he plays 20 freaking games. And then he pushes out Atkinson that year. He literally pushed him out in the middle of the year when he came back. So remember, this is the Nets organization. When you ask, why are they trying to leave? Because Ben Simmons and because the Nets aren't good decision makers. Third year, Atkinson brings them to the playoffs. The fourth year, they go 28-34. As soon as they change everything, D'Angelo Russell was working, but hey, let's go get Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving disrupts the locker room. He pushes him out, gets him fired. Jacques Vaughn takes over. They go 7-3, but they miss the playoffs at 35-37. Actually, they made the playoffs. I'm sorry. They made the playoffs against the Raptors. They lost in a sweep. So that's what I'll say. Does technique really matter when you line up near AD? No, not really. Do you think that the LA Chargers will sign Sue? Maybe. I mean, they sign everybody, so I would assume maybe. Travis Kelce has the most overall receiving yards in the last 6 years. Who do you think finishes number 2 in receiving behind Kelce this year with no Tyreek? Like on the team? On the Kansas City Chiefs, you mean? Because I think I got my money on Juju Smith-Schuster to do that. Darren, Kyler just stays the same. This one YouTuber said it best, honestly. He can't do good because he can't see so far over the offensive lineman. Over the lineman, he is great at running, though. It is an issue. He can't see the middle of the field. Do you think the Rams should trade for Quinn since he demanded a trade to fill in for Vaughn? Did Quinn demand a trade? I know he doesn't want to be on a rebuilding team. But I don't know if he... No update. No, unfortunately not. Yeah, that was... he impressed me the first 3 games of the year. He really was really good. Yeah, I love Quinn. I don't know if they need him, but I love Quinn. I mean, if the Clippers need a point guard, I'm going to be real with you. Kyrie Irving is probably your best bet. I don't think he's going to go there. I think he's already a Laker, if you want my honest opinion. It sounds to me like they've already made this happen. Like, the Lakers have already planned this out. This is what they're going to do, but I don't know, man. I think Kyrie's probably your best bet with, the Clippers. He's on the Nets. I don't know. Top 5 teams in NBA Western Conference you see going all the way. Interesting. So, let's take a look at Western Conference, right? So in the NBA here, looking at it, the Suns should be back, the Grizzlies will be back, the Warriors will be back. So those are 3 of the 5. Mavericks, and then probably the Clippers. I can't get on the Lakers until I see what they do. The Clippers, hopefully for them, they'll have Kawhi back. I could also see the Nuggets. Portland, if they get KD, is like literally right in the mix. But right now, I'd say Suns, Grizzlies, Warriors, Mavericks, and then I'd say Clippers or Nuggets. And then, depending on, like, if the Lakers get Kyrie, maybe they're up there. And if the Blazers get KD, they're 100% up there. He'd help. Yeah, he would help. I did not get to see it. I heard it's amazing, though. I want to see it. Jimmy G. To be honest, I'm pretty much looking at like the Browns, the Panthers, and the Seahawks. There we go. I love sneezing live. It's so great. Definitely not inconveniencing at all. Yeah, but it sounds like they're just gonna bring back what's his face, Kayvon Looney. They're gonna sign him to a multi-year deal. I don't know how I feel about that, but don't know if that's the best course of action. But yeah, going back to what you're saying, Jimmy G, Browns, Panthers, Seahawks is what I see. Well, I'll say this, Eddie. Embiid had Simmons back repeatedly. Like, that's the thing. I think he was just fed up. I think he got to the point where he's like, everyone's working hard. This guy isn't putting in the work. I'm tired of it. He's like, I know I'm the best player in the league. Obviously, I'm not saying Embiid is, but he's definitely one of them. Should have won MVP this year. I'll say that until the end of time. But, first center to lead the league in scoring since Shaq. You have to understand how dominant Shaq was. But anyway, Embiid literally defended Ben Simmons over and over and over and over again. There is a compilation video of him just defending Ben Simmons. Like, the media is constantly like trying to get answers out of him, trying to get him to turn on his teammate. Embiid, despite the fact Simmons didn't really treat anyone like a true teammate, he kept backing him. He kept siding with him. They literally flew out to LA, him and the team, and just tried to talk him into coming back and staying with the team and building around. And the dude quit. He absolutely quit. Like, I'm not going to say Doc Rivers isn't guilty, but I can tell you right now, if Embiid said anything, it was because he was tired of literally backing him the whole season and watching him just not give a shit. And I think I totally understand Embiid in that scenario. And I just wish Embiid had a real, like, I think Harden at one point looked like he could have been, but Harden hasn't taken care of himself. Like, dude is added so much weight. He's not in shape anymore. Like, he's not the same player. Like, when he was on Houston, when he was on Houston, when he was killing it on Houston, that was like prime Harden. I don't know if we get that again. He just let himself go, essentially. Look at him. Like, he's not in shape, clearly. What's up, LA Rams? Don loves Quinn, too, because I think Don kind of took him under his wing. Yeah. What position on the Rams roster from a depth perspective concerns you the most? For me, it's OG. There's probably some more obvious. Probably. I mean, it's definitely not corner or safety. Linebacker, potentially, but not. Nah. Defensive line's good. Yeah, it's probably just offensive line by default. My buddy's known for flaking. Oh my god. Stop flaking on my guy Alex. What you doing? What's up, Hilltop? It is right now, I can tell you. It is 76 degrees. So one temperature or one temperature away from being the best. In my opinion, 75 is as perfect of weather as you get. 75 sunny, clear, no wind. There you go. Welcome to the most perfect weather you could possibly have. Boom. Minnesota will be a dark horse in the NFC. Absolutely. 100%. James on Houston was different. He was. I had his jersey. I loved watching James Harden on Houston. Yeah, I really like Troy Hill. He's somebody I've defended for a while. He's gotten really good. I mean, this is somebody that, was just a roster add-on, maybe even a camp body, if you will. And the Rams just continue to work on him, develop him, and sure enough, now he's a pretty solid cornerback in the NFL. Definitely a starter. Yeah, so Black Phone was directed by Scott Derrickson, who initially was going to direct Doctor Strange, and he dropped out of the project due to creative differences, and then they brought in Sam Raimi. Yeah, I definitely need to see or Black Phone. I want to see it. 90. Oh yeah, okay. You're in Tacoma, that's why. Is the Khalil Mack trade being overrated? I get that he used to be a defensive player of the year caliber, but it feels like the move is ignoring his low level of play the past 2 seasons. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Khalil Mack is probably, at this point, keep in mind what we always say, overrated does not mean bad. Khalil Mack is probably the most overrated defensive player in the NFL today. If you look, his statistical output doesn't compare to how he's regarded. Robert Quinn had a better season than Mack has had in Chicago. And now he's going to the Chargers, and we're just all supposed to assume because of the fit that he's going to be amazing. Well, let's look at Khalil Mack's stats, right? I understand stats aren't everything, and I'm a big believer in pressures and film. But even on film, Khalil Mack, actually, if you want to be this way, we could be this petty. Khalil Mack in 2021 and 2020 did not have as many sacks combined in those 2 years as Quinn just did. Khalil Mack in 2019 and 2020 did not have as many sacks in those 2 years as Robert Quinn just did. So, actually, believe it or not, Robert Quinn has had 2 seasons where he's had at least 18 sacks. Khalil Mack's best season was with the Raiders in 2015 when he had 15 sacks. And basically, he ended up winning the, Defensive Player of the Year award because Aaron Donald didn't even make the playoffs. That's really why. Aaron Donald had the better year. But he's had 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons in which he hasn't had double-digit sacks. I think it's time to start saying it. He's not bad. He's not bad. That's not what I'm saying. Do not take that out of context. But he is probably the most overrated defensive player in all of football. And I don't like saying that because the guy came from Buffalo, and while he's not my neck of the woods, the fact that he came out of Buffalo and became one of the best pass rushers in the NFL at one point, that was kind of cool. But yeah, the guy has gotten very overrated lately. Very overrated. Have you seen the meme when Nick Scott turns into Brick Scott? Are you talking about the YouTube short? Because if you're talking about the YouTube short, I created that. So yeah, I guess I have seen it. Been doing a lot of those YouTube shorts lately. Last week was all nearly 100 degrees days over here in San Jose. It's finally coming down this week. Random, but shout out to Cortland Finnegan for picking off Stafford for a pick 6 week 1 of the 2012 season. What? Clowney and Mac, the most overrated guys ever. Yeah, I don't know about Clowney. I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess someone gets overrated, but Mac definitely does. I still haven't seen Draft Day. Not your bad, man. You didn't know. Yeah, I've been trying to put those out. They get good, engagement. But, you know. How would you sort out the Chargers cornerback situation? Michael Davis contract screws everything because he's their fourth best corner, but is probably a lock to start. Thoughts? Well, let's take a look at the Chargers corners. I want to have the depth chart in front of me before I start running my mouth about them. I know they added my guy J.C. Jackson. All right. So their depth chart is J.C. Jackson, Asante Samuel. I don't see Michael Davis starting. No, it's going to be J.C. Jackson, Asante Samuel, Bryce Callahan at nickel. They did add Jasir Taylor in the draft, nickel. What is Michael Davis's contract? Is it that bad? It's not that bad. Oh, okay. Okay, it's better. It's worse than I thought. Okay, let's see. So, if they were to trade him post 2020 or post June 1st, which is now, they'd have a 2 million dead cap hit. They'd save 7.3 million. I mean, they don't have to play him just because, they paid him. You know what I mean? They did get better talent. I do like Michael Davis. He's 27 years old. I'd imagine they're going to wait this out because if there's an injury in camp, guess who just became a hot commodity? Michael Davis. That's not a bad contract. A team could easily trade for it, and you'd incur a $2 million dead cap hit this year and next year, and you save $7 million this year, and you would save $7.4 million next year. So, I mean, that's what I would do. I'd wait, see what happens, and then if you have to trade him, you get something out of it. My favorite non-Ram player in the NFC West. You like Tyler Lockett? I like Lockett. I think for me, it's George Kittle, just because he was one of my first interviews. I've always been a fan of his, and I love seeing him succeed as much as it hurts the Rams, and obviously I don't want him to beat the Rams, but I like seeing him succeed because he was a great story. Funny enough, his credits did not transfer initially to Iowa. Like he had to do like this summer school thing, and yeah, like he told me about it. It was kind of cool. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. Would love to get him on again at some point, but that was early on when I first started, doing interviews. I think it was one of my first interviews, and I did it on a phone. I did it on a call recorder app, folks. Like this was back like OG, like way back when. So yeah, Kittle's just very likable. And having interviewed him and everything, like I'm a big fan of his. So would love to get him back on at some point down the road. But yeah, I'm a big fan of George Kittle. Really, you got to see it, my guy, especially since you cover the draft and all. LOL, it's corny, cheesy at times, but for people who love the draft, it's a fun movie, no doubt. I've heard that. What do you think about a reunion with Littleton? Well, I was all for it, made a video about it, but then he signed with the Panthers, so out the door on that one. Hoping he has a good year with the Panthers. I like the fit. He's teamed up with his old college teammate, Shaq Thompson from Washington, so that should be interesting. I'm definitely rooting for him. When Lockett was at Kansas, he broke Kansas State. He broke his dad's receiving record, then went on to break his uncle's kick return record. Baller. That's really cool, actually. Least favorite NFC West player. Ooh, where do we go here? Man, I don't want to miss Jamal Adams. I used to love, and when he went to the Seahawks, he just instantly annoyed me. So maybe Jamal Adams, although I don't think he's like that good anymore. He's really lost a step. Jamal Adams. I don't really like Kinlaw with that whole thing that happened. I would probably say Jamal Adams, or I would say Dre Greenlaw, just because he was so dirty in that game. Kittle is the real deal, 100%. Totally agree. Yeah, I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be fantastic. Is it going to be better than Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness? I kind of feel like it could be, you know? But we'll see. We will see. I'm very excited for it. Very excited for it. Would you rather trade our second rounder or spend it on a running back / wide receiver? Knowing our front office, I feel like it would be a lock to use some of the form of offensive skill position. Thoughts? Um, I mean, I would rather trade the second rounder than spend it on another skill position player, if I'm being honest. So I like Richard Sherman, always have, because of his story, how basically he really went through a lot. You know, he grew up in Compton. He was around a lot of this gang, you know, these gangs, right? And so he's just trying to learn. He's just trying to, you know, go to school, graduate, you know, go to the NFL and all of that. And you know, he had to deal with a lot of that, like the violence and everything in his area. And so he just continued to work really hard. And you know, he eventually was able to go to Stanford, which is huge. And then he goes to the NFL, and as a fifth round pick out of Stanford, he becomes one of the best corners in the game. So I always like Sherman, you know, but it's because I learned the story behind him. If you don't know his story, then yeah, he kind of comes off as a loudmouth and annoying, and obviously he's, you know, he never played for the Rams, so there's also that. But you know, what do you think about the Rams giving Djax a ring even though he forced his way out? Well, I mean, anybody would get a ring. You know what I mean? So it's not just like, you know who would get a ring? I'm almost positive Juju Hughes. No, Juju Hughes would get a ring. I'm almost positive J.R. Reed would get a ring. Anybody that was on that team would get a ring. So it's not like unheard of. Yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings about it. I don't know. It's one of those things. I wasn't there. Grant does seem like he is somewhat of an instigator, but I did, you know, I did gain some respect from the way he kind of stood his ground in that interview and didn't get like squashed on, and I thought he was professional as well in the interview. But I don't see him normally. I don't follow his content really, because I'm not a 49ers fan. I have no reason to. And it's not like you know who I'll watch that is a team-based creator but isn't a Rams team-based creator or Jets. Do you know who I watch? I watch what's his face? Tom Grossi. Friend of the show, Tom Grossi. Yeah, I watch him. And there's a reason though, because his stuff, like, he makes it like his own show, like, and I try to do the same. And I feel like even though it can be overwhelming seeing all of his Packers stuff everywhere, like he knows the league. So I like watching Tom Grossi. I think he really knows what he's doing. With Grant Cohn though, like, I've seen some of this stuff where like he doesn't even know stuff about the Rams, and you know he'll be like, "Well, I don't cover the Rams or whatever." It's like, yeah, but you cover the NFC West essentially because you cover the Niners. So I feel like it's like your duty to know about the other teams in the league. I don't know. Maybe that's just my thought, but I don't know. It's kind of a turn off when you listen to like his thoughts on the Rams and they're just like bad because he doesn't actually follow the Rams. Worst Ram starter, I mean, it's got to be Riley Dixon, and I don't even think he's like a terrible punter. It's just they have such a good roster. To some degree, he's had a hard time staying healthy and hasn't played a ton either. So yeah, I would say. Okay, breaking news: Kyrie Irving has opted into his $37 million deal. Kyrie Irving. Normal people would keep the world going, but those who dare to be different lead us into tomorrow. I've made my decision to opt in. See you in the fall. A11 even. So there it is. He's bypassing on multiple opt-in and trade scenarios to fulfill his 4-year commitment to the Nets and Kevin Durant. So it sounds like the Nets might have, I don't know if they dodged a bullet, but it sounds like they will probably have Kyrie and Kevin Durant back. That's what it's sounding like. Interesting. Interesting stuff. I understand that, man. I used to hate T.O. until I heard his story coming up. I respect Sherman, just kind of gets under my craw. No, I get that. I understand that. Are the Rams going to lose a lot of DBs after this upcoming season after looking at how the Rams drafted? Good chance they do. I mean, if you really think about it, after the season, you talk about Nick Scott's a free agent. You talk about Taylor Rapp, David Long. I mean, yeah, they're going to lose guys. They can't sign everybody. I think and also Troy Hill, I believe. I think Higbee will have a big year if he stays healthy. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's that offense. Like the offense is so spread out and they have so many different guys. I just don't know if Higbee is in position where he could really ever have that type of season. While Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson, Van Jefferson are all over. That's my thing. Do you think the Rams will go and get an edge rusher opposite Floyd? If so, who do you think we should go after in free agency that's in our price range? I don't know. I don't think that they would go after anybody in free agency. I think that they would probably go via trade. But if he left $30 million on the table, I would have had to give him credit. If he was coming to the Lakers, I would have had to give him credit. I'm a little surprised Kyrie opted in. A little surprised. I'm going to change the name of this stream, by the way. I'm also going to sneeze again, because why not? Man, I hate it. I hate it. I think we're good. Eye roll, man. Freaking eye roll. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Which would you start if you had Perkins or Wolford? I don't know. That's a good question. If Stafford was down, God forbid, and I had Perkins or Wolford, I'm probably going to take Wolford. But Perkins, at some point down the line, will end up being the backup. So I don't feel too bad about it. Don't feel too bad about it. But man, what should we title this video? I put Rams / Kyrie Irving opts in. No, that's good. Rams Athletics to move to Vegas. Kyrie Irving opts in. That's probably good. I think that's good. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Send in the Wolf. Man, the numbers these guys make, the money these guys make, things I would just do for 1 million couldn't even be said on here. The red eye stream, the flu game, the red eye stream. Man, you aren't kidding. Wolford always shows upside whenever he's on the field. I'd go with him too. I know everyone was hating because he threw an interception against the Giants. I'm like, dude, he got hit while he was throwing. They took all the starters out. I mean, come on. Maybe. Let's see. What rookie do you think will have the most impact? In the NFL? What league are we talking about? No, I'm gonna assume NFL. Man, that is kind of a huge. Yes, please. But what rookie? What's up, Nolan? What rookie will have the biggest impact? Man, I don't even know. I don't know how to answer this. I would probably. I'm not gonna be lame and say like Trayvon Walker. Biggest impact. Could be Breece Hall with the Jets. I think he's going to have a massive impact. Could be Jameson Williams with the Lions. Kayvon Thibodeau with the Giants. Kind of like those for now. I think that I'll stick with those for now. Oh, rookie on the Rams. The biggest impact is probably going to be Bruss because I think Bruss is going to be the only one that's starting, guaranteed. Actually, no, that's not true. Jacoby Durant. I take that back. You've all read the face, but now direct your vision to the eye. Comics available everywhere today. Dear God. Wolford is scrappy, though. I like him. Perkins is better athletically, though. He is. Saquon Barkley, does he bounce back this year, or is he cooked? I hope he bounces back. I really like Saquon. He's a good dude. My friend went to Penn State, can confirm that, but oh, man. This is the most obnoxious thing I've ever seen. You guys can't see it, but there's this, like, fly that is just, like... And you can't see it, but it's literally right in front of you. Obnoxious, bro. I'm gonna kill you. Hopefully YouTube doesn't demonetize me because the YouTube TVA picks up, oh, he said I'm gonna kill you on a stream. Not that he was talking to a fly, but just like he said it in general. The Bruss Bus. I think Lake is gonna be a force on special teams this year. Will definitely make an impact there. I agree. Definitely agree. Definitely will make an impact. Let's see here. Just so you guys know, we got two things coming up after the live stream. A little bit after, not right after, because I won't be streaming until they come up. I'll probably call it a stream soon. But we got the MCU Edge. If you're into Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU Edge is coming up at 9:30 Eastern Time on the app. And on top of that, actually before that, at 8:30 Eastern Time, only on Twitter Spaces, just like that's only on the Call-In app. On Twitter Spaces, I'm going on the Jet Lounge to talk about the New York Jets. I did. I don't know how much I believe it. It is Warren Sapp, but I did hear about that. Do you see McVay implementing Powell into the offense since he has good chemistry with their quarterback? Maybe. I don't know, though. Bug assault gun? Oh, don't give me one of those. I might have way too much fun killing flies. Yeah, they don't need Powell on offense, but I do think it's cool that like he does obviously have that offensive ability where he could help. But, you know, they got Tutu Atwell this year, so if they didn't do it last year, I don't see him doing it now that they have Tutu Atwell. Bug assault gun. Is it like really is it messy? The Black Fly edition. Fire your fly swatter. So the Bug Assault 3.0 is specifically tailored to the needs of a serious fly hunter with custom improvements such as the crossbolt safety, trigger redesign, and patronage sight. Salt viewing window, lift cap, pour salt, 80 shots. Non-toxic, uses ordinary table salt, no batteries required. Do not point a bug assault at anyone. Well, duh. Do not point a weapon at anybody. Like, what? I guess this thing... Wow. It's like turning a game out of hunting. Laser sights. Sounds like I might need one of these. I think he'll hold up. I mean, I have mixed feelings about it. And not getting political, because I'm not going to get political on the show ever. But I think with Kaepernick, it's, you know, it's not about what he stood for that people are really bothered by it. It's more so that, like, he turned around and made, like, all that money off of Nike. So it does beg the question. It's like, all right, well, yeah, you stood up for something you believe in, but you're definitely profiting a ton off Nike. And it's not like the NFL is stopping you from not having a job. But also, keep in mind, like, he's had opportunities. He didn't want to take them initially. Like, I think Denver wanted to sign him or whatever, and like he refused to not be a starting quarterback. So I don't know. My biggest thing is I think he has talent, because obviously he played in the NFL. You have to be talented to play in the NFL. But I don't know, like, the idea, like, people are like, oh, well, you know, it's ludicrous that he's not in the NFL. You have to understand something with Colin Kaepernick is that right now, like, sadly, Kaepernick's 34 years old. And I've always said the young quarterback ecosystem is completely destroyed in the NFL. You have guys like Kyle Sloter that are 28 years old that should have gotten opportunities years ago, okay? And he's playing in the USFL in a broken league, somewhat broken league, just like Jordan Ta'amu, just like Philip Walker. Philip Walker played for like 10 different teams before he finally got an opportunity. My point is that there are guys in this league right now that are backups that could probably play and like start for you and do well. Gardner Minshew isn't even a starter, but then there are people that are mad that Colin Kaepernick at age 34 is not a starting quarterback. So it's not political. It's not political at all. It's just what makes the most sense. What are you going to do if you're running a team, right? So you're running a team and you're running this team and basically you're deciding whether to sign the 34-year-old who his last year in the NFL, he went 1-10. He had a 59% completion percentage and he had 16 touchdowns. He actually only had 4 interceptions, so that's pretty interesting. But he wasn't the same quarterback. You're basically, and that was in 2016. So you're deciding whether to sign that guy in 2016, who's now 34 and who apparently didn't have a good workout. I don't know. I wasn't there. Or sign a guy like John Wolford, Bryce Perkins, Kyle Sloter, somebody like that that's young, that you can kind of mold into what you want. And like Minshew, for instance. Yeah, I thought Minshew would have gotten a shot. I mean, Colin Kaepernick has a decent touchdown-interception ratio. He's got 72 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. The issue with Kaepernick is that it's not just political, because it was before that. It was that while he was actually really good when he broke onto the scenes, but then the quarterback, they started trying to make him play a role in which he wasn't really best suited, right? So they were like, hey, I know you're really good at doing this and this and this, but let's have you do this so we can keep you a long time. So instead of him being allowed to run the ball, they tried to make him more of a pocket passer, and that didn't work. This guy had, 639 rushing yards one year. I mean, if you think about it, he was averaging about 33 a game. And that's the thing. So when you're trying to, change things about him, well, he's not the same quarterback. But it's not even how he was when he left. It's the fact that he hasn't played since 2016. And whether it's fair or not, whether he was blackballed or not, whether it's fair or not, it's not even about political aspect of it. It's the fact that this guy has not thrown a football in an NFL game since 2016. Would I rather pay him or would I rather get a young guy? So, Well, yeah, I mean, and that's another thing. The league is, I mean, some guys, yeah, exactly. It is one of those things. I've heard some stuff. I'll keep it to myself, obviously, because, people have told me, and I know if I were to say it, it'd go back to the other person and they'd get in whatever. But I've heard stuff that would lead me to believe that, yeah, not everything is how it seems. We'll just say that. So I think there's a lot that goes into it, and I'm not necessarily saying it's all Cap's fault either. But that's just my thoughts because you asked, and so I figured I would answer. And I don't like dodging questions unless they're just absolutely, completely out of left field and disrespectful and very derogatory. I'll answer pretty much any question that's on the Q&A. So that is my thoughts on that. How good do you think Terrell Lewis can be if healthy? I mean, if we knew that Terrell Lewis could play a full season, the guy has 14 sack a season potential. I mean, he's very, very talented. But it's a matter of staying healthy, of course. Wonder if he is kin to Lawrence McCutcheon, old Rams running back. I'll look it up. Is Lance McCutcheon, who actually spells his name the same way as Lawrence, related to Lawrence McCutcheon? Let's see here. So, Lawrence McCutcheon, his son Dalen played cornerback for the Browns, but no, he does not have another kid. So that is not. They might be related, but that's not his kid. But let's see if they're related in any way. Doesn't look like there's any relation. I'm looking though. No relation. Nope. Interesting though. Very interesting. Worth looking up. Well, yeah, that too. Yeah. I like him. I don't think he has any pathway to make the roster, but I like him. I think he'll be on the practice squad. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen all the conspiracy videos. Some of them are really funny. Like there was this one dude who's like, you could just tell like the dude, is Nolan here? I think we talked about this before. Nolan with the conspiracy. And I'm not saying all conspiracy theorists are out of their mind, but Nolan, I know we talked about this before. The body language expert. Remember that? It was the oh, see, man, you just you see the Bengals, you see Joe Burrow coming down you could just tell they've already been told by the NFL that they got to give up the game and they got to let the Rams win and they're all upset. They're not like you see they're not pumped. Then you go over to the Rams locker room and they're like, "Yeah, dude, they're pumped. They know they're about to win the Super Bowl." I'm like, "Oh, dear God." Dude, those body language analysts crack me up, or experts or gurus, whatever they call them. You can find it on YouTube. Just look up body language guru sports or something, and it'll always show you like before any title game and say that like how sports is like entirely rigged or whatever. And I'm not saying that some sports can't be rigged. I'm sure it's very easy to do it. You have referees that could completely alter the game. So yeah, it's possible. But it's just funny. I'm not even saying the guy's wrong. But it's funny, man. It's legitimately hilarious to me. Like this idea, right? Like, you know, oh yeah, body language guru here, breaking it all down. You can see the Rams and yeah, like the Rams, like they look ready to go. Then the dude's breaking down like the NBA and like you could just tell like the Celtics know they're going to lose. They're like they don't have their shoulders up here. They have them like down and like I'm like, "Oh my god, man." Way too much over analysis. Way too much. Hey, you remember how it goes? I brought that up. Um, I don't know. And like if it was like why would it have been rigged for the 49ers to lose when they're a bigger franchise? That's the thing. That's the thing like the rigging, it needs to make sense for me. Like when I see people like it was rigged, like why would the NFL be rigging any game against the Cowboys when Jerry Jones like owns the league low key? Like I love when Cowboys fans say rigged. Like the Cowboys are considered America's team for God knows why. Like the NFL wouldn't rig the Cowboys to lose. I saw people saying that it was rigged for the Niners to beat the Cowboys. There's no way that they would rig anything against the Cowboys. Think about how much money the NFL would generate if the Cowboys made the Super Bowl. Think about that. The NFL would make more money in a Super Bowl now than any Super Bowl if the Cowboys made it. How else do you think they get 5 primetime games for being completely mediocre or okay every single year? Well, Jake, they made the playoffs last year. Congrats. They haven't gotten past the divisional round since 1993. But Dez caught it. Yup. They absolutely don't want their giant franchise that's worth all that money and all those fans. They definitely don't want that team in the Super Bowl. You're absolutely right. They totally rigged it against the Cowboys. Let's see. What are the most what does it say? The most valuable sports franchises. All right, let's see this. World's most valuable sports franchises. May 7th, 2021. So obviously things could have changed, but I'll tell you one thing that didn't change. Number one, the Dallas freaking Cowboys, valued at $5.7 billion. So when I hear a Cowboys fan say that they are rigging it against us, or that it was rigged, or that this didn't happen, or this, like, dude, you are the richest team in the NFL. You are the richest team in sports. You're richer than the freaking Yankees. There's no way that the NFL is rigging anything against the Cowboys. And if they're doing it, then it's bad business. Because if you were going to rig anything, like, why would you rig it against a team that is worth $5.7 billion? I mean, they're going to be worth $6 billion. They're probably worth $6 billion already. This is from 2021. Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. Period. NFL conspiracy theorists trying to explain how Joe Burrow taking a piss is him saying that the Rams will guarantee. Yeah, pretty much. Look at the Rams' body language ever since they signed OBJ. They lost the will to win. Oh, yeah, I remember that. So I was right that Vegas will get a baseball team. You were right. You were right, Rusty. I remember that. That's where I heard that. I think it was to hopefully slow the game, make it more exciting. Maybe. Who's going to be our RB3? Kyron Williams. Cowboys are still the number one sports franchise, and I hate them because of it. If you were to look closely at Mixon inhaling oxygen through his nose, then exhaling, you'll see the body language shows that he has no passion to win the game. Therefore, the Super Bowl was rigged. We're laughing, but that's literally what I see on YouTube. People make content about that. I'm not going to hate on other content creators. You make what you want. You put the effort in. All the power to you. But, like, those are just funny. Rams are not number 3. The Rams, based on, things probably changed in 2022, but the Rams, I don't think are top. The Rams are 13th. They're tied with Manchester City. But this was last year, so I'd imagine they've passed Liverpool, they've passed Bayern Munich, and they've passed the New York Football Giants. So they're probably right around the New England Patriots, I would probably say. I'm going to look up 2022. Let's see. Okay, 2022. Let's see what we got here. Anything? No? I don't even know what this is. What the hell am I looking at? All right. So, apparently, this is 25 most valuable sports empires. Number 1 is the Liberty Media, which owns the Atlanta Braves, Formula One. Jesus, they own Formula One. Atlanta Braves, Formula One, Drone Racing League. Didn't even know that was a thing. Kroenke Arena Company and Mayer Shank Racing. But then the Kroenke Sports Entertainment apparently don't own the Kroenke Arena Company. That's interesting. So, the Kroenke Sports Entertainment is number 2 as far as the top 25 most valuable sports empires. It owns the Los Angeles Rams, the Colorado Avalanche, the Denver Nuggets, Arsenal Football Club, Esports Investments, Colorado Rapids, Colorado Mammoth, Altitude Sports and Entertainment, and I guess they co-own the Kroenke Arena Company. And there were $10.54 billion behind Liberty Media, which is $17.2 billion. This is in 2022. Very interesting. I love this. Keep in mind, sports empire, right? So empire, the top 25 empires. You have Liberty Media. You have Kroenke Sports Entertainment. You have Fenway Sports Group. You have Madison Square Garden Sports. You have Yankee Global Enterprises. You have the Kraft family, the Glazer family, the Paul G. Allen Trust, the City Football Group, the Maple Leaf Sports Entertainment, and then you have Jerry Jones. Just Jerry Jones, who's the 4th in 25 most valuable sports empires. Jerry Jones is 4th with ownerships of the Dallas Cowboys, Legends Hospitality, the Dallas Star, and Complexity Gaming. And his value $8.85 billion as according to 2022. And he is only behind Liberty Media, Kroenke Sports Entertainment, and Fenway Sports Group which includes the Red Sox, Liverpool Football Club, Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing. I didn't even know that was a thing. The New England Sports, I don't even know. New England Sports Network, I think that is. Fenway Sports Management, Pittsburgh Penguins, that's low-key the most random thing, and real estate. I guess it just says real estate. But, yeah, Jerry Jones, hate to break it to you folks, but Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, nobody's screwing them. The NFL is not rigging anything against them. Cowboys number one easy. Call before you look it up. Yeah, it's not even like, yeah. Not even worth it, right? It's just not even an argument. The Rams are still outside the top 10, I guess, in 2022. So, that's interesting. Yeah, how about that? So, the Rams will get there. Actually, this one I think is more updated. Yeah, this one's updated. Okay. Official, the most valuable franchise is the Dallas Cowboys now at $6.5 billion. That's official. So the Cowboys worth even more. They're still the number one by far in all of sports, but yes, the NFL is absolutely rigging games against them. Number two, the New York Yankees at $6 billion. Number three, the New York Knicks at $5.8 billion. And can I just say this? And I think people will be upset, but it is what it is. I'm unapologetically Jake. That's just how it is. The Knicks are the third most, I mean, I don't understand why the Knicks are so valuable. They're called the Mecca of basketball, but it's not the Knicks. It's Madison Square Garden, which I've been there, and it's really not all that great. So it's just what you would expect from an NBA arena that also has hockey. I mean, the Knicks have won 2 championships, and those championships were in 1970 and 1973. You wouldn't know that because Knicks fans act like they won with Patrick Ewing and that LeBron James is going to join the Knicks, I don't know, maybe sometime in 2039. But the Knicks haven't won anything, really. They've won 2 titles in the 70s. And yet they are the third most valuable franchise in the history, like in sports history right now. That is bizarre to me. 5.8 billion, like that's crazy. Golden State Warriors, by the way, have passed the Los Angeles Lakers. The Golden State Warriors are worth $5.6 billion. Winning matters, folks. The Los Angeles Lakers are $5.5 billion. The New England Patriots are $5 billion. The New York Giants are now worth $4.85 billion, and the Rams come in at 8th overall in the entire world, and they are rated the $4.8 billion. They're worth $4.8 billion. So, Real Madrid 9th, Barcelona 10th, Bayern Munich 11th. The Washington Commanders and the Manchester United are tied. San Francisco is 14th. Liverpool, Bears, the Chicago Bears and Los Angeles Dodgers are actually tied at 16. New York Jets worth $4.05 billion, 18th. Manchester City, $4 billion. Boston Red Sox, 20th now at 3.9. Chicago Cubs, 3.8 at 21. They're tied with Philadelphia, the Eagles. Denver Broncos, Houston Texans are surprisingly in the top 25. Chicago Bulls are 25th. Boston Celtics are 26th. San Francisco Giants and Seattle Seahawks are tied at 27th. Green Bay Packers, Pittsburgh Steelers are 30th. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. So, what did we learn from this? No, the NFL is not rigging games against the Cowboys. They are the number one team in the world. Pretty much. No, they actually weren't. Pretty crazy, right? I like it too. Rams are number 3 in football. We not in the top 10 in sports. Yeah, the Rams are 8th now. That was the 2022 as of June. So he might, but I don't know. Probably. That's true. Very rich owner. So I do. I'm obviously not going to give away who they are, but I have people that I know. They give me, and here's the thing. I've had stuff blow up in my face because the way the NFL works is things change, and so I just don't bother reporting. I'm not a reporter. I'm an analyst, and I'm a sportscaster, and I'm a personality. So there's no point of me breaking news anymore because that's just not what I'm trying to do. Probably, yeah, that sounds about right. For real. Just got the Avalanche. Pretty crazy. Avalanche won a Stanley Cup. Yeah, I'd like to go there. So while I really do like watching quarterbacks, college kind of makes it hard because there's a lot of, I call them the clappers, because they're sitting there and they're like this the whole time. They're staring down their sideline. And they'll be like, and then they'll just stop, stare down the sideline again. Like, all right, because it's actually kind of hard to scout quarterbacks, but it's really hard to scout quarterbacks like, say, Matt Corral, who I think has a lot of upside, a lot of potential, but I couldn't really get a good feel for him because he just ran predominantly an RPO one read offense. Hard to really get a feeling out of that, you know? So that's really the thing there. But I really do enjoy watching quarterbacks. I like scouting running backs. I think wide receivers is probably my favorite. Yeah. I would say wide receivers, but that's a great question. Great question. That is wow. A troll. Okay. I just realized it said President Trump. I was like, oh man. Hunter? Um Oh, Danielle Hunter? Or Daniil, however you say his name. Uh yeah, I mean, I if they were down for that, sure. You know I'm right though. Darren, you're going to be sitting there, you're going to be watching tape and you're going to be watching college football and now you'll never stop because they are the clappers. They're just sitting there like, and they'll do it again. They always line up in shotgun, bro. I'm telling you. Pistol, shotgun, whatever. It's like the same thing. Always, always, always. But I'm right. Am I not right? Like, that's what they're doing. They're like, it's always the same motion, too. None of them do this. None of them, like, you know, there's no, everyone has the same, it's like this, like it's the, you know, like it's the same clap, like every time. And I'm like, oh my God, stop it. It's, like, why are you even doing, like, who, like, why? Like, I don't know. But now you'll never unsee it. So, yeah, that's why I like this group. You young guys wonder and think of stuff I never would. I'm old and wise and just gaining more knowledge. Well, hey, I really enjoy it. I love it. Get all different types of audience members in here. It's great. Nolan doesn't really know what's going on right now. Probably the President Trump thing. Um, what are you looking forward to seeing in these preseason games for the Rams? Are they harder to scout because they really don't implement the offense and defense? Yes, I think really what you're looking for is when you're watching preseason, you just want to see if these guys are working on things that you noticed in college. So, like, for instance, if you're watching the Rams, you're watching preseason, and you're like, during the draft process, I had nitpicks about Jacob Harris or like whatever, right? So say like during the draft process, I had nitpicks about Jacob Harris and like the way he frames the ball. Like when he catches it, he doesn't get like a good like frame. He gets like this. And I'm giving an example. I want to see that in preseason, see that he's worked on that, or see a guy that couldn't pass protect to save his life, and now in preseason he's asked to pass protect, as a running back, and work in pass pro, and like he looks good. Like I want to see improvement. I think that's the big thing there that we want to see. Production's great, right? I mean, Chris Garrett dominated preseason, so production's great, but we want to see improvement as far as like the little tools and traits that these guys have. I think that's the big thing. So that's something I look for. Oh, the Jason Garrett's LOL. It's a non-rhythmic clap. But yeah, it's like every time, bro. Every time. Do you believe the Rams will make a trade before week 1? Probably not that soon. I think they could make a trade down the line, though. I definitely think they can make a trade down the line. Nah, you damn right, Jake. Some teams even do the fake clap to get the free offsides. I'm crying. It's so true. It's like, bro, like they go up here like this and they'll and they just like stand there, they just stare down. Like they're just like looking over, right? They're just like, all right, all right, there's about 10 seconds. All right, coach, shut up. 8 seconds, 7, 6. All right, we're gonna have to call a timeout. I hate you. All right, and then they have to do like the 2. And like, you ever notice that? Like when they're down to like 5 seconds or whatever, and they do like a quick like 2 claps, and then they go like, why do you have to do it twice? It's like, I don't know, man. Laughable. If you could swap 2 coaches from the Rams to the Jets, who would they be and why? So I guess I would probably go with man, this is a good one. Eric Henderson, I think, would do wonders for the Jets as the defensive coordinator. So I'd probably say him. And then Eric Yarber with the Jets would just automatically make the receivers fantastic. I already like what the Jets have at the coaching staff, but that's to answer your question. That's what I have. And that's just for the Jets. It wouldn't help the Rams at all, but that would help the Jets out. Will basketball find a way to land in Las Vegas? At some point, it has to. I would imagine it's not far away from happening. Do you guys see McVay being a head coach outside the Rams? If so, what organization could you see swoop in for him? I don't. I think he's either going to be the Rams head coach the rest of his career, or he's going to go off into the sunset. That's what I think. But could be wrong. That's really what I think about that. It could. I don't really know, but I think there's definitely a possibility. I heard Jonathan Cooley is somebody that the secondary guys really like, so I think he's going to do a good job of replacing. But yeah, I mean, Coach Evero has been there since 2017, so he joined the Rams with McVay. Yeah, that's going to be a tough loss. I think it would be Edge. Yeah. I think it would be Edge. I don't necessarily know if they'll make a trade. I don't think they'll make a trade until halfway through the year, though, if they do. So that's what I'll say about that. Nah, dude, 720. I wish it was 420 right now. I would have a lot more of day left over, but no. Nope. The day is coming to a close, slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. But you know what's not coming to a close? Well, my content creating tonight. Check me out in Jet Lounge over if you want to listen to some Jets content. I'm going to be doing some Jets content with Jet Lounge going on their show from 8:30 to really up until MCU Edge at 9:30. And then 9:30, hop on, call in, exclusively on call in. join. It's in the description, MCU Edge. Check it out. You want to call in, that's great. You want to leave comments, that's great. You want to be completely silent and just listen to the experience, that's great. Nolan, you better co-host it with me again. We got some stuff to talk about. But hey, guys, it's been a lot of fun. We've been streaming for almost 2 hours. So, really do appreciate you guys. But I'm going to head on out of here. And tomorrow I got a show. I'm going to see my favorite band, Starset, for the, I think, 11th time or 12th time. I've lost track. Yeah, I know, I'm obsessed. But so I'll be doing that tomorrow night, which is why the scheduled stream, I believe, is at like 3 or something. I'll check and make sure right now. Let's see here. So Tuesday Q&A is at 3 tomorrow. So I will see you guys at 3 tomorrow. I look forward to it. If you guys are just on YouTube. If you guys are trying to join me on Jet Lounge, again, it's over on Twitter Spaces. And if you guys are trying to join me over on MCU Edge, it's at 9:30 Eastern Time, and it's on exclusively on the call-in app. You can honestly just type in Jake Ellenbogen and you'll find it, but the link is in the description below. That's going to do it for me. You guys take care. Rams fan, it's not a Jets channel. It's just called Jet Lounge. So it'll be, you can find it on my Twitter, at JK Bogan. But yeah, it's going to do it for me, guys. You guys take care. I'll see you guys soon. Later.